Hello and welcome to NewsBreak. Now I know we've all enjoyed a super summer with chilled drinks, beer and ice cream flying off the shelves, but it won't have gone without your notice that the nights are now drawing in and the first signs of autumn are beginning to show through. And so, if you haven't done so already, you should take a look at those last remaining summer lines, keeping one eye on the weather of course, and making some decisions about clearing out any stock that you don't want hanging around for another year. And let's face it, you'll need the space, because now it's time to start planning the two biggest events of the year. Halloween is the third biggest event in retail these days, and stores that do best are those that really embrace the tradition and stock a good range of related products. So to give your sales a positive bump in the night and your competition a nasty surprise, here's a few products to look out for.
Cadbury released their new Trick or Treat size tubs, a great companion for any trick or treater, and great value too. More NPD now from Robinsons. Freak shoots are a scary take on a popular child's favourite and perfect for parties. Stock up now. Scream Eggs are next, featuring a ghoulish green centre and interesting taste experience. Certainly a great impulse driver for your store. Now a special Halloween treat from Haribo with their new fairy cakes, fiendishly different from their regular offerings. We all know and love Cadbury Animal Biscuits, now with a Halloween theme and perfect for lunchboxes. And finally, for a great range of Halloween accompaniments, you should check out the frighteningly good mega deals available via ShopLink, which this month offers a case of 24 by 500ml Coca-Colas for just £10.71. Along with other great offers on core confectionery lines like Mars, Snickers and Kit Kat. Remember, stock is limited, so don't delay.
Coming up, are you the lucky winner of our £500 voucher? What makes Store to Door a winner for newsagent John Vine? We return to Northwich to get the lowdown on whether transforming his shop also transformed Ian Handley's sales. And there's just enough time to register for the Independent Retail Show. But first, on the 5th of October, as you should know by now, the Lotto is going through a very exciting transformation with brand new prizes and millions of pounds of advertising. Let's take a look at what's happening and what this means to your customers.
It's a new dawn for Lotto, with increases to its prize fund and more money going to national lottery projects. For the first time with every ticket, there's a new raffle with 50 winners of £20,000 every draw. The old £10 prize for 3 numbers more than doubles to £25. We also expect the jackpot to be over £5 million on Saturdays. To fund these changes, the ticket price will rise to £2. The important thing is to remember the changes and communicate these benefits to your customers. More details are available on the National Lottery website and in your Jackpot magazine. What you need to be prepared for is the increased footfall from customers coming in to check if they've won the raffle. This creates an opportunity for you to grow your sales of the National Lottery and sell them other products whilst they are there. We expect a mixed reaction to the changes, and some customers are going to take time to adjust to the increased fee. So please bear in mind that Hot Picks and Thunderball are still £1 and that 6 people win every second on National Lottery scratch cards. To encourage involvement on the first 2 Saturdays of the new game, the National Lottery is going to give away 1,000 prizes of £20,000 and the guaranteed jackpot is £10 million. And just in case you haven't seen it, here is our new TV commercial.
Somebody told me
the Lotto's changing
this Saturday.
There's more to play for, there's more to stay for.
Singing a wackadoo holiday.
I've seen the figures, the jackpot's bigger.
There's raffle prizes to give away.
The people at Lotto do expect some fallout in the early days, but the good news is that for every customer you retain, you're going to double your lottery sales revenue. So make sure you go the extra mile in selling the benefits of the new £2 Lotto. Last week we looked at how NFRN's public affairs are lobbying MPs on the subject of tobacco.
The government were introducing a display ban for tobacco products, but through the lobbying of ourselves and other people involved, it was important for our members that we got a 3-year deferment.
Another bill currently being debated before MPs is the crime bill.
The problem with shoplifting is it's just shoplifting. Whereas shop theft, it actually better explains what is happening.
Shop theft's very difficult to combat, and what we don't want is people coming in thinking, well, it's just a minor crime and it'll be okay as long as they don't steal too much.
They come out with the sound bites, you know, crime is a blight, crime is something that we need to fix, and then do nothing about it.
Within the terms of the bill, a clause is being introduced which seeks to reduce the importance of theft below the value of £200. We believe reducing the severity of the crime will also, in turn, reduce the severity of the punishment. It could even act as a green light to petty theft.
And what we can do is try and make sure that policy reflects the crime. And so in terms of giving our members support about making sure that they're fully informed, about lobbying to ensure that retail theft is called retail theft and not shoplifting, to make sure that magistrates understand that there's no such thing as victimless crime.
What it's called is important for public perception and legislators' perception. But what is also important is the fact that £200 is seen in this bill as being low value, and for our members it's not low value, it's their livelihood that's disappearing out the door.
So we can't afford to have the reducing of the seriousness of small crimes.
And it's not about the emotion. You know, we've got plenty of emotion in the NFRN. It's about providing them now with facts and figures to help change policy for the future.
The Public Affairs team are lobbying hard so that this legislation never sees the light of day. But as usual, in issues like this, the more voices we add to this appeal, the more Parliament will sit up and pay attention.
What the Public Affairs Committee need is for members to actively get involved on a local level with some of the lobbying on these important issues.
MPs can meet people like myself all the time, but retailers, our members, are the authentic voice of the industry. They're the people who know what's going on, they're the coalface, as it were, and that their story is much more authentic, much more genuine, and much more powerful than anything that I can ever say to a Member of Parliament.
So how can you make your voice heard?
Over the next few months, we'll be rolling out an engagement toolkit aimed at helping members engage with MPs, councillors, crime commissioners and other elected officials. This would be intended to be a living source of information, gradually building up over time and providing guides and standard letters for members to use. We suggest they use it as a guide. Members of Parliament receive a lot of letters on campaigning issues particularly, but a letter that is personal, written by a member about their shop and how whatever the issue is impacting them, is far more powerful than a template written here in a head office in London.
You can also get involved with starting your own campaign on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll be putting up these web addresses at the end of the programme, as well as a link to the programme made by the NFRN on crime prevention. You may remember that in our last programme we met Ian Handley in Northwich.
It was starting to look a little bit tired in places. We probably weren't making the best of use of the sort of the shelving that we had, the space we had.
Ian first contacted the NFRN in 2010 when he updated and remarketed his shop.
Because it was only a smallish shop, maybe 450 square foot, but I wanted it to work harder than it was doing.
The refit was a huge success.
Sales increased, not phenomenally, but we thought it was about what we expected, maybe around about 10%, 12% rise.
Ian was delighted by how quickly his costs were recovered, and as a result got straight back in touch with the model store team, and this time the work was bigger and bolder in scope, with an extension of some 400 square feet.
We had to look into all the ins and outs of the lease, the land that we were going to be sort of building on behind, how the rent was going to be affected in the new area, with me paying for the purchase or the building work. So that was quite involved really, and by myself I would not have had a clue quite where to go with this.
With a complex mix of land buying and lease holdings, the situation called for skilled and experienced negotiation. So once again, Ian called the NFRN.
Came with me to meetings, gave me the confidence to go ahead, be there and understand what was being said, what was going to happen, what it involved, what the costs were going to be, what I had to pay for, what I didn't have to pay for, and it was all very clearly sort of laid out for me. The general sort of feedback has been really, really positive.
Oh yeah, because it was a little newsagents, wasn't it, with a little selection of stuff around, you know, if you wanted a loaf or a bag of flour and bits and bobs like that. So then it was a bit bigger still, wasn't it, and more things then. And now, well, it's quite marvellous, isn't it?
So they'd have to go to the spa to get their other things. But now, you know, they're enthusing that they can actually come in here and buy their stuff here. They like buying from us, but they couldn't before. We didn't have it. Now, you know, we've got basically what they want. Straight from the outset, we sort of hit the ground running, and sales have been up quite significantly, to say the least. Now we are open until 9 p.m. And we're getting a steady flow of people coming through, but it's going to take time to build, I think, with that. But we're talking of sales increase of around about 45%. So big increase, very big increase. So, you know, and that is, we're only now 2-3 months into it. So we're hoping it'll keep building.
Next time, in the final part of our model shop feature, we'll talk to other shop owners who have also had their refits done through the NFRN. If you need to talk to Ian, we've included his email here, and this will be repeated at the end of the programme. Now we're off to Church Stretton in Shropshire and a visit to John Vine. In a declining market, John, who also owns a nearby hardware shop, has boldly decided to take up the challenge of increasing his takings by offering customers a home delivery service, supported by another NFRN initiative, Store to Door.
Store to Door is basically it's an initiative that the NFRN have started with just about, I think they've got all the support of all the national publishers.
Customers love the offer.
To be able to encourage shops to get back to delivering newspapers, really. And I think what they're thinking of, the more people that can get into that, the more things that you can then start to develop to deliver, whether it's milk or bread or anything, you know. So it's about making yourself even more important to the customer. They can phone you for anything instead of just a newspaper. Yeah, you know, I love it.
And here's another personal touch from John.
When they can get 12 weeks free delivery and half-price newspapers, people are shocked. You know, they are genuinely surprised that they are being offered that package.
It's this proactive approach which is bringing in more custom. And he has this piece of advice for others thinking about engaging with Store to Door.
I don't like direct debit for bills. I'd rather they came in my shop to see me. I mean, at the end of every month we could be owed anything up to £10,000 in newspaper bills. And the flow of people that come in, whether it's in the snow or the ice or whatever, they're pleased to get their newspaper, so they come in at the end of every month to pay their bill. And if we hadn't have had the customers coming in to pay their bills, then people would never have known that we got an off licence. And you get to communicate with them, don't you? You know, you get to talk to them, and they build up such a relationship with their paper boys. You know, I mean, yeah, it's very important, I think. We're trying to get out to areas we don't already deliver to. Some of them are 5 miles away from us, so that's another 25 customers that didn't come in my shop once a week. You know, and now they will. You know, it's another 25 customers that will know what else we do, because we'll also leaflet them what other goods we're doing in the shop. And it's now something that we will continue to do, to offer the free 12-week delivery and everything, and we'll support that ourselves because I think it's such a brilliant initiative. You know, so.
And he has this piece of advice for others thinking about engaging with Store to Door.
You can't expect the newspaper people to keep putting offers on the table. You yourself have got to get out there, and if the papers are late, I drive to Shrewsbury 15 miles away to get them, so that the people get them on time. If a paper boy makes a mistake and somebody doesn't get a paper, then we'll take it out there to them. You know, you have to be bothered. You know, you have to. Once you start doing this, you can't. You know, you've got to have strict rules. You know, those papers have got to be on time, and yeah. Otherwise, they'll look online, won't they? I would like to be able to increase our newspapers by 20% by the end of it.
If you're interested in taking up this free Store to Door scheme, you can request a pack containing leaflets, posters, and further information from this address. The opportunity on the high street over the next 5 years is estimated to be worth £5.5 billion. And in order to make sure you're getting your share of that retail pie, you need to keep abreast of what's hot and what's not. A great place to get the inside track is the Independent Retail Show, which takes place at Event City in Manchester on the 6th and 7th of October.
This year's Independent Retail Show is going to be the biggest and best ever, and our slogan sets the tone with "Meet the future your shop deserves," so you can be sure it's packed with ideas and practical suggestions to give your business a cutting edge. From new products and exclusive show deals to networking and business development opportunities, with a range of suppliers, there'll be something for everyone. Symbol Street gives you the lowdown on which symbol offering is right for you, own brand offerings, and how buying and merchandising strategies can work for you. We have expert trade speakers at Profit Zone, and the Farmers Market supports the drive to love local. You can find out more information at independentretailshow.co.uk, and a clickable link will appear at the end of the show.
The deadline for registration is looming, so what are you waiting for? Go to www.independentretailshow.co.uk. Right, as we draw to a close, there's just a small matter of giving away £500. In our last programme, we asked who our lady shopper was at Ian's store. Was it Sue, Fiona, or Mary? From hundreds of you that spotted that it was in fact Sue, well done. But there can only be one winner who was chosen randomly, and that person is Christine Gavrilova from Guildford. Congratulations! A £500 voucher is winging its way to you in the next few days. That's it for this month. Next time I see you, we'll be taking a look at the biggest retail event of the year, Christmas. See you next time.
To find out more about the Independent Retail Show, PC or Mac users can click the link on your screen now. If you are using a smartphone or tablet, go to www.independentretailshow.co.uk.